Welcome back to episode 322 of the Guide and Guns podcast. I'm your host, Troy.
And I'm your other host, Doug.
We use this podcast to talk about guide guns and responsible Christian gun owners' interest. On this week's show, we'll be talking about October being the best month of the year.
Oh, yeah.
Prove me wrong.
Can't do it.
Well, thank you, band with sponsors. Primary Arms. Primary Arms seeks to provide the best shopping experience for everything firearms with over 13,000 products, over 400 top brands. Primary Arms carries a complete selection of rifles, handguns, firearms parts, shooting gear, apparel, and more. Every order comes with a commitment to superior service, backed by fast shipping and an expert support team serving freedom since 2008. You can find out more about Primary Arms at frn.deals/PA. Also want to thank Farms Radio Network. If you've not checked out other shows at the Farms Radio Network, please do. There's lots of other shows out there, and some of those guys are a little bit more salty than we are. But we welcome you to check out other shows and support those guys because they support us. And also want to thank them. Several of the guys from We Like Shooting sent some trees dedicated in honor of my dad's passing. And so they, through the Arbor Society, are planting trees in Daniel Boone Forest, I think, here in Kentucky. So that was very nice of them. I did not see that till just recently because I hadn't been to the post office, to the mailbox at the post office for a while because we've been sick and not been out and about. So also want to thank Patriot Patch Company. If you've not gotten Patriot Patch yet, or the Patch of the Month Club, or the stickers, or the shirts, or the all kinds of gun safety rules, stickers, patches. They make our patches. They make our stickers. I've got stuff piled up everywhere down here. Not what I need at the moment. But check them out, patriotpatch.co. They support us, and they've supported us even when we've been out sick, and Doug's been out with wedding and traveling on his birthday and all that fun stuff. And me being sick over and over again, they have supported us through thick and thin, and we really appreciate them. Check them out at patriotpatch.co. This week's guide, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, absolutely appreciate them.
Yep. And this week's guiding gun activities, Doug, what have you been up to?
Let's see. On the God side, Sportsman's Daily Devotional, Hospital Devotional, and my new daily devotional. Didn't make it to church this past week because I was at a wedding. The gun side, everyday carry, and I tried to get my wife to let me carry it at the wedding to make sure that it went off without a hitch, and she wouldn't let me. She made me leave it in the truck. So I was like, well, okay.
The shotgun away?
It could have been. He was pretty intent. It was happening. But let's see, this past weekend, congratulations to my daughter Taylor and her new husband Dylan. They've been together a long time, but they finally officially tied the knot and made it all official like. And so we were in Rome, Georgia this past weekend. It was my birthday weekend, so I got to go to a wedding for my birthday. So we had a good time. And it was a lot of fun. We had a good time. We rented a house up there, and then the little venue they had it at was out in the country, and it was in like a horse stable. They turned into a wedding venue, but it was pretty. Got to walk her down the aisle, so that was kind of cool. It was it was a lot of dust or something blowing around there, man. My eyes just kept watering at times, and I don't know what was the deal, but it was a good time had by all.
The dust, right?
It was dust. It had to be the dust.
It had to be the dust.
Yep. Hey, so my new son-in-law Dylan, he went hunting with me once several years ago, duck hunting. The day he went with us, it was like 17 degrees that morning. The river was almost froze, and I think we almost froze him.
Turned into a popsicle.
Yeah, and he never really wanted to go again.
He just now thawed out there.
He probably did, but I told you he bought a bow a few weeks ago, and he wanted to start shooting a bow, and he wanted wanted to do some hunting. So he'd been shooting, practicing. Him and his brother-in-law invited him to go yesterday afternoon after work. So they went to a little spot that he has, and Dylan killed his first deer, and he got it with a bow.
Wow.
And put a good shot on it. And he called me up, wanted to know if I would help him process it, get it cleaned and put in the cooler. And I was like, absolutely. So congratulations to him on that. He was one happy camper.
It looked like a good shot. I'm not a bow expert, but it looked like it was right in the basket there.
It was right in the bread basket, man. He popped her good, and he shoots those Rage 2-inch mechanical blades, and when that thing opens up to a 2-inch cut, man, it devastates some stuff. So
they don't go far after that, do they?
No. I was able, not this weekend, but the weekend before was opening weekend of muzzleloader, which I did get to go hunting, and I got to take my first deer this year with a muzzleloader, with my new muzzleloader actually that I got last year, that I hunted with a couple times and put it up. But I take one, and I have one of the Thompson Pro Hunters in 50 cal, and that thing is so much fun. But I killed a deer on Saturday, and then Tuesday I sat down in my recliner, and I was getting ready to turn in for the evening, but I was sitting there watching TV or something, and my phone went off, and I looked, and it was my Spy Point camera telling me I had hogs over at the place I hunt at my other son-in-law's grandfather's house. And I had 4 big old hogs standing there. So I run in the bedroom, started putting socks on. Wendy's like, "Where are you going?" I said, "Guess what's on the camera?" She's like, "Oh, be careful." I said, "I will." So shorts, t-shirt, throw the snake boots on, grabbed a gun, and out the door I went. 7 minutes from my house to the gate, and slid in and slid down the road, and snuck up on them. They were still there. Halfway to the hunting place, 7 minutes now, I was getting pictures. Ding. Every time they move, ding. I was getting a picture. Halfway there, I quit getting anything. Nothing. No pictures, no nothing. I was like, man, they done left. And lo and behold, my camera died right in the middle of me trying to get over to kill them. But I slid down the road, and I could see him on the thermal on the scope. And I got down to the shoot house, and instead of getting in, there's a pine tree on the edge of it, and I raised up and grabbed a hold of it with my hand for a brace, laid the gun across my wrist, whap, got him. And I called my son-in-law before he wasn't my son-in-law yet, so he was close. But I called Dylan. I was like, "Hey, I got him." He said, "All right, I'm on the way to your house." So he came over to the house and went back out there. I came and picked him up, and he went out there and helped me drag that big joker. I would have never put that thing out of there, man. But we got her all cleaned up, making sausage, man. So that was about my daughter getting married was the biggest thing that happened this past weekend. But dude,
good job, Doug. Good job.
I know. I know. That sounded perfect, didn't it?
There ain't no pen behind you, is there?
No. So next month, I'm excited about this one too. Next month, I get to fill a bucket list item that I've wanted to do for years, just never done it. I am going to South Dakota pheasant hunting, and I cannot wait, man. It's going to be fun. We're flying in, and we're flying in one night, then we hunt for 2 days and fly out the next day and come back home. But I am so excited about that hunt, and I've never been in South Dakota for one, and I've never been on a pheasant hunt. I've shot pheasant here, but a continental pheasant hunt in Georgia is not like shooting real birds. Yeah. They throw them up a tube, and wherever they come out at, you shoot at them. That's not really pheasant hunting.
You got a little basket and a string they pull it.
They do. So I'm looking forward to that, man. October is a good month. Deer season comes in, and it sets a tone from now until the 1st of February.
It's your birthday.
It was my birthday.
It's my anniversary.
Happy anniversary. And thanks to everybody for all the birthday wishes the other day. I do appreciate it. And I think that's about it for me. It's been an eventful week.
Sounds like it. Well, I've been to the doctors a lot this
Have you?
week. Let's see. Went to church Sunday. It was good. It's been 2 weeks because of the wedding, but it's went to church and enjoyed that immensely. Our associate pastor was nominated to be the lead pastor. Oddly, our former pastor, who had moved to Tennessee, came back and is now attending church as a member, I guess visitor, because they haven't moved the membership back yet. So that was an interesting Sunday. It's the first time I've been in the congregation for since COVID. So because Chris was still sick and we weren't able to go because all the people were still coughing, and finally got over all that and got to see everybody. It was great to be back and people hugging on you and glad to and talking about how they're glad to see you, and just made you feel good being back in church. And then let's see, we've got daily Bible reading. I listen to a lot of sermons on Sunday. My, my pastor is like, how many? My former pastor and my new pastor, I talked to them all. I'm like, I listen to 4 or 5 sermons on a Sunday because I listen to one on the way to security at church, maybe 2, depends on how short or long the sermon is. And then I listen to 1 or 2 during the security thing, and then I listen to our sermon from our pastor, and then I listen to the one out in Montana and Wyoming to their sermons from mission trips and stuff. So I'll catch 4 to 5, sometimes 6 sermons on a Sunday. So it lasts me most of the week.
Right.
But that's most of my Sundays. On the gun side, I went out shooting this afternoon just to check the sights on my Staccato C, and everything looks good. I had the dueling tree up, and I was hitting them, but they weren't flipping because they'd been sitting out for like 3 months, and it's all rusted up. So I need to go out there and oil it up and loosen it up. But it worked it around. I hit like 3 shots, and it turned them to the back. But as far as them flipping, they weren't doing that. Of course, 9mm doesn't flip it like a 45 or a 10mm, but uh, I was shooting the 9mm C, and it was dead on accurate because we got the Bulwark's annual meeting, Bulwark's alumni annual meeting. They call it BAM. Is tomorrow
Bam.
and Sunday. I won't be able to make this Sunday, but I'm planning on going. Gunner and I are planning on going tomorrow morning, and they told us to bring 250 rounds of pistol, 250 rounds of rifle, and I think 50 rounds of shotgun. So we can try to get our coin and other things. I got the rifle coin. I never have tried the pistol coin. I doubt I'll get that though, because I've been still getting my strength back, but I'm not 100%. I still have a little bit of a wobble when I walk, and just a little shakiness. Of course, I did that. I don't guess I've been on here since I took the fall. I was out working on my truck. I was installing the tablet in my pickup truck for my FTM 400 mobile radio, so I could have you guys at our hams are glazing over. I'm sorry, but I was hooking it up so I could have digital communications inside my truck, and then the wife says, "Hey, I'm burning some boxes out here because we get lots of shipments because my daughter works at Amazon and she also spends a lot of money at Amazon. So we had a ton of boxes that instead of throwing them in the garbage can, we just burn them and throw the ash in the garden." Well, she lit it and she said, "I need to go to the house to do something." And I was like, "Okay." And so I went down there to check on it, and some of it fell on the ground. So I took a rake and put it back in the burn barrel. I was walking back. The grass was wet because it rained that morning. And I stepped up on the concrete where our vehicles are parked. And we've got an RV that's my mom's now. And there was some like moss, little thin layer of moss that started growing. I hadn't pressure washed it yet. And I was on the concrete, and I noticed my right foot was out about 4 or 5 feet in front of me. I'm like, "What in the world is that?" And then about that time, my left kneecap hit the ground on the concrete, ripped out a big chunk out of my knee, about that big, where all the skin disappeared. And then I was doing the splits front to back, and then I flew backwards and hit my head and neck on the tire. So I'm a little bit sore and wobbly from that more than the COVID. I had dislocated both hips, and and knocked out 7 ribs and 3 vertebrae and screwed my neck up. And so I've been to
Dang.
the chiropractor like 5 times in the last 2 weeks, getting myself back together again. I was Humpty Dumpty out there on the concrete, but I was able to put myself back together again. But that was been my guiding guns week. Did unbox and put away a couple thousand rounds of 9 mil and 1,000 rounds of 5.56 that I'd gotten in, but I hadn't put in the ammo cans. So I shuffled my ammo cans, and then I got all the ammo ready for tomorrow. And then I got the sight mounted from Primary Arms. Had sent me that Prism sight. I got that mounted on my 6.5 Grendel, and was going to go out and shoot that this afternoon, but I had other things that precluded me from getting that done. So I'll have to try to shoot when it quits raining sometime next week. So that was that on the farm. Brought a bull into the farm on Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. No, Tuesday. Went and picked up a neighbor's bull. He's let me borrow for a couple months because he don't breed his until December, January frame. Checked on the water gate, pushed some of the fence down that was messed up there. Stopped and on the way to Glasgow to the ham meeting on Tuesday, I stopped because there was a cow on the road, and I pulled around and walked over and tried to figure out where she got out at, and she had a calf with her. So I guess the calf had got under the fence, and she came out to be with the calf. So I'm out there, and traffic's flying by, and I bet 30 cars passed, and nobody stopped to help. So I was able to open the gate and walk the cow down the road, I don't know, a tenth of a mile or so back into the field she came out of, and got her and the calf back in. So that was more farm stuff. Ham side, I got the ICOM ID 31. I think I talked about it, but it's a D-Star little HT, ICOM D-Star. And so it's a little bitty. Here's my FT5, so you can see it's smaller than my FT5. And all I do with it is a D-Star, and of course our buddy NN4H has helped me get all that up and going. So I've been checking on D-Star nets. Got the FTM 400 working on the ham side. After I felt the next day, Gunner felt pity for me and helped me finish it up. And the next install I got is Yaesu FT 8900R, which is a 4-bander in the Excursion. And then I need to get my HF antenna up. And I got a guy that has befriended me recently who builds towers, and so I might see if I can have him help me get an HF tower, or at least a good antenna up. So that was pretty much my stuff. EDC check, STI Staccato, as I was talking about earlier. I need to clean it and oil it and get it ready for tomorrow. But she's ready to go. And she did a great job tonight hitting the targets right where I pointed it. So hopefully that translates to something good tomorrow. And I got that in the Super Tuck. And what are you carrying tonight?
Oh, usual suspect. Got the Glock 19 with my student of the gun night vision sights on it. And that's it tonight.
Good deal. Gun Depot's hollering at us. They're hollering at you, probably. They don't know me.
What's up, guys? Man, I don't know if you follow them guys or not on Facebook, but they've been posting they have got some cool stuff in lately. And Wendy's already talking about making another trip down there, and I can't wait. Gun Depot USA makes going to Panama City a lot more fun. I like the food, but I like to look at guns too.
Yep. Good deal. All right, so you've got a joke for us.
I do got a joke. I figured, keeping with the wedding theme of my daughter getting married over the weekend, that we would go with this one. After the wedding, the little ring bearer asked his father, how many brides can a groom marry? One, his father said. Why do you ask? He said, well, the priest said he could marry 16. The boy said, puzzled. He said, how did you come up with that? He said, it's easy. He said, all you have to do is add up like the priest says. 4 better, 4 worse, 4 richer, and 4 poorer. It was funny, Troy. We were at the wedding, and I got to tell this. So it was a package deal that Taylor had found, and it was a really good deal. They got a cake. They got it for like 2 hours. They got a cake, the venue, the person marrying them. What else did they get? Photos. They got pictures and everything was included in it for a really good price. And so this young girl's out there. She's taking the picture and stuff. And I think this was the 3rd wedding that day they had already done, or 4th, I think she said. But anyway, we did the father-daughter dance, and we got done with that. And their little girl, Taylor, Taylor's little girl and Dylan's little girl, Riley, she was sitting there, and she was just having a big day. She was having her a good time. Well, me and Taylor got done dancing. It was the groom and his mother dance. So they were out there dancing. Riley comes over. Riley's 3, almost 3. She comes over and grabs me by the finger. She said, come on, Papa, it's my turn. I was like, okay. So me and her went out dancing, and I was twirling her and stuff. We got done. I turned around. We were coming back over to everybody else, and I looked, and that girl taking pictures was bawling. I was like, you all right? And she said, that had to be the sweetest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, I told him over there on YouTube a while ago, you're a big softy.
I know.
And, triplet daughters, he didn't have a chance. So.
No. And yeah, Billy saved the day. He said it was ragweed, and I agreed. So we're going to stick to that story.
Uh-huh. I know the truth. Is that a new on this day in history?
It is, absolutely.
Would you like to tell it one?
I sure would. On this day in history, in 1836, Sam Houston he was sworn in as the first president of the Republic of Texas.
There you go. All right. Bible verse tonight. I have not set this up. Let's see if I can do this on the fly. Share. Screen. Try. Chrome. There. Boom. Well, I can't see anything with that. Okay, that'll work. I think. Let me small it up a little bit. Oop, I goobered it. I knew I was going to goober it as soon as I touched it. There we go. Maybe y'all can see it now. Matthew 9:35 through 38. And Jesus went through all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues and proclaiming the gospel of the kingdom and healing every disease and every affliction. When he saw the crowds, he had compassion for them because they were harassed and helpless like sheep without a shepherd. Then he said to his disciples, the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Therefore, pray earnestly to the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into his harvest. In Matthew 9:35 through 38. And why do I talk about these verses tonight? Well, we are experiencing things that I don't think anywhere in history has been experienced before. And the number of things that are occurring. Good night, Christopher. We will see you on the backside, maybe.
Yep.
But we're all called as believers. Those of us who have decided to follow after Jesus and decide that we are going to lay our lives down and follow after Jesus. We're going to give him priority in our lives. We're going to trust him as our Savior. We're going to trust that he is the Son of God and that he is our only hope. When we do that, we are then called into the priesthood of the believer. And what does that mean? That means that you, as a believer, now have the ability to share the same gospel that you heard with others. It is important that you do that, because if you don't do that, then everyone you know that is not a believer will not have heard the message, or may not have heard the message, or may not have the ability to hear the message. The good news is that, well, the bad news is that, apart from Jesus' sacrifice, your good works are useless. It don't matter how much money you give to the church, no matter how many days you dedicate, no matter how many Sunday school teaching classes you teach, no matter how many old ladies you walk across the road, no matter what you do, is worthless. It's useless. The only thing that gets you into heaven is faith in Jesus alone as your Lord and Savior. And so that is the good news. The bad news is you're going to hell otherwise. So if you, who have received the gift of salvation through Jesus, aren't sharing that with other people, then you're hoarding it for yourself. As they say, the hiding a candle under a bushel, right? That's, you're hiding your light so no other people can see it. When we are believers, we're supposed to shine that light. We're not supposed to hide it away. We're not supposed to keep it away from people. We're not supposed to hoard it to ourselves. We're supposed to share it. Because if you don't share it, then no one will hear. And if they don't hear, then they cannot be convicted and realize their need for Christ. And so, therefore, they're destined for hell apart from someone else sharing with them. So make sure that you're sharing as a believer. If you're afraid to share the gospel, then Jesus said, if you're afraid of before men, I'll be afraid of, I will not be proud to show you before my Father. If you're not bold enough and proud enough in your salvation that you're willing to share it with other people, then Jesus says, well, I'm not I'm not proud enough to stand before my Father with you, right? So you need to take it serious. If you're a believer, you're called to proclaim the gospel. Does that mean you have to know every aspect of the Bible and be able to interpret uh, Hebrew and be able to read it in three different languages and use? No, it means you need to be reading your Bible so that you know what God says in His Word, His holy Word. You need to be able to share that word and the gospel with other people. I'm no means a scholar in the Bible. I read the Bible and try to understand the Bible, and I read and listen to other people that know more about the Bible than I know, and try to get as much of it as I can. But it doesn't stop you from sharing the gospel message. It doesn't stop you from saying, "Hey, come to church with me and hear about this man named Jesus who changed my life," and be willing to give a testimony for why it is that you have this hope in Jesus. That's very simple. It's your story. You tell your story. That's the only story that you have to tell. I was like this. Jesus came into my life, and now I'm like this. That's your testimony. It's very simple, and anybody can do it, and you should be doing it. So that's just my encouragement as we're coming closer. I mean, every day is another day closer to the time when Jesus returns, and by the things that we're seeing occur around the world, it looks more and more close than ever has before. So you need to be secure secure in your salvation by understanding the gospel, understanding the word of God, understanding the times that we're in, understanding the turmoil that's coming upon us. And God said, that if it weren't for Him returning sooner, more people may lose their faith. So many people will lose their faith in the end times because they don't have a good, secure faith. They don't really know what they believe in. They have a very baby infantile amount of taking in of the word and understanding. Their prayer life is pathetic because they don't pray. They don't have a relationship with God on a regular basis. So make sure that you're praying. Make sure that you're studying the word. Make sure you're sharing the gospel because the times are short, people. Shorter than it was yesterday. It's going to be shorter.
Hmm.
We don't know when it's coming. I'm not saying I know when it's coming. I would never say that. But Matthew 9:35 to 38. Get this out of the way here. All right, main topic is October is the best month of the year. I've done told you why I think it is. Doug's birthday. We got married in October. It's the first month that I enjoy Kentucky. I hear a dog. Oh, that's my dog. I'm like, I hear a dog. Where did the dog come from?
Is that Buddy?
Hey, did you hear him?
I did not hear him.
Okay. I just realized that my security camera's up, and apparently the microphone's on from the front porch, and he's barking.
Oh,
Yeah. I don't know who's coming in there. All right, so that was the Bible verses. We're into October as the favorite month, and the reason I like it is because it cools down. The mosquitoes die off. We get to close that pool up.
that's a
And
perk.
the leaves are falling. I was out there yesterday. I mowed the yard yesterday, and we've got walnuts falling like crazy, and we've got hedge apples. If anybody wants hedge apples, we got bushel loads of them right here. We've got chestnuts all over the place. So I was out
Really?
there. Yeah,
You got chestnut trees?
we got chestnut trees out back, got walnut trees out back. We're covered up in them. So this year everything's produced a lot. I never seen as many chestnuts and walnuts as we've had this year.
I
But
love some chestnuts. My grandfather used to have chestnut trees, and I love those things.
yep. So we got a bunch of them. So I'm trying to get the kids to pick up as many because I don't like bending over, especially all sprung up like I am. But
Yeah.
but I just enjoy this time of the year. It's just sort of like the time of harvest. I always enjoyed harvest time. We just got, I think about 2/3 of the corn. I thought most of the corn was in. I think we only got about 2/3 of corn in. We've got hay in the barn. The cattle are starting to not having to fight the flies and the bugs as much, and the creek's running most of the time now, and it's just a relaxing, de-stressful time for me. It seems like October is a month where I just sort of like, okay, I can take a breath now. I
Mhm.
guess it's just from the farming, growing up with my grandfather. It was like when October hit, once we got the grain in the bins, we were pretty much done until we started grinding feed for the cows. But that was just 2 days a week. That wasn't 5, 6 days a week like the other stuff. But I always enjoyed just everything cooling down and getting the grain in and getting the cattle fed and stuff. Going out and throwing hay out in the pastures and stuff in the wintertime and in the fall. I just always enjoyed that time, and I always enjoyed uh, going hunting with my grandfathers and my dad, my uncle. Of course, they're all gone now, except my uncle. He's still around, but I don't think he's in any kind of shape to hunt. So, just a nostalgic time for me, going right into Thanksgiving. What about you, Doug?
It's the same. I love October. Down here, deer season starts in September, but it's so hot. Uh, Opening day of muzzleloader season was 2 weeks ago, and it was, I don't know, 53 degrees or something. I was like, ooh,
Oh, really?
yeah.
It's been cold here this week. Last 3 days, it's been. I think the high today was like 60. No, 55 was the high today, and then it's been in the 40, 45, I think tonight, or 45 last night. It's been really cool in the evenings,
It's
and I
supposed to
love
be
it.
tomorrow. I'm going hunting in the morning, and tomorrow is supposed to be in the high 40s, low 50s, first thing in the morning. So I can't wait, man. It's going to be awesome. But October also is it is my birthday in October, and I told my wife and some friends, I said, since it's October month and I've been out of town, and with people being sick and stuff, I've extended October birthday for the entire month for people that didn't get their gifts in, and that kind of stuff. So you feel free to send checks or money orders or whatever you like. But it is a sad time for me in October on my birthday, because I was born on my dad's birthday,
Yeah.
which my dad has been passed away for several years. So it kind of makes it a little bit tough always sharing a birthday with him. And I think about my dad all the time, especially when I'm hunting, because he was an avid fisherman and loved the outdoors, and that's where I get it. Nut don't fall far from the tree, I guess, right?
Hmm.
So that was my dad, and he instilled that in me, the love of the outdoors. So, but on my birthday, it's really it's especially tougher, because I'm thinking about him all day, because obviously we have our birthday together, and I think I mentioned it before. My dad always told me, growing up, that I was the only birthday present mom ever gave him that he couldn't take back. And then he reiterated that he had tried a few times and she couldn't find the receipt, so he had to keep it. And I was like, well, appreciate that, Pop, but we had a good time. But yeah, I'm like you. October, starts my time of the year. I like spring, and I like summer for doing things and going to the beach. That's what my wife likes, and she likes it. I like it. We go to the beach. But the fall, man, it's just something about it. I just love. I love sit. For people that don't hunt, you can't explain this to them.
Yeah.
But I love sitting in a tree stand at first light when it first starts breaking daylight and the birds start chirping and everything's quiet and it's really crisp and the air just smells good. And I don't know that I love fall. Love it.
Yeah. 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 I mean, this time of the year, I get a cup of coffee and I go sit out there as the sun comes up and watch deer go across the field and the turkey come out of the trees and head out in the field and start going across. Foxes, you see the foxes off trotting across the corner of the field. They don't come too close to the house, but I see foxes trot through the alfalfa sometimes off in the distance. And I just enjoy this time of year. Everything seems like it's just not stressing. And, everything just seems like it goes back to where it should be at for me.
Yeah, you talk about foxes. I've got a fox now that has been getting very cozy coming up in my backyard. And do you know what a mole cricket is?
A mole cricket?
A mole cricket. If you don't, you have to look it up. It's one of the ugliest bugs that you will ever see in your life. It's about that big. Well, apparently they taste good because my dogs go out there first thing in the morning before the sun comes up because I guess they're up out of their hole in the ground or whatever. And man, they sniff around all in the yard till they find them, and they like to eat them. And I can't hardly get them out of the yard in the morning. Well, apparently foxes like them too, because for like 3 days in a row, I had this big red fox. I mean, he is a big joker. When the first morning I saw him, I thought he was a coyote, and but it's a big red fox. And I opened the door, and the dogs was barking at him, standing in the yard, and he just kind of looks at him like, you ain't opened the door yet, so I'm not scared yet. And he went back to his business. He was out there hunting mole crickets too. So I guess they all eat them, but he better.
We don't have nothing like that right here, I don't think.
Really?
Hey, the one ugly looking cricket, man.
Ain't it? They are ugly, but I guess
we got black crickets. That's what we got. Black, and we got cave crickets.
Yeah.
Around where there's openings in the ground, we'll find some cave crickets around there, or underneath sheds and in barns and stuff where there's not much light. You'll see cave crickets, but I've never seen anything like that before. That thing is just nasty looking.
Yeah, we got a lot of them down here. Apparently, people harvest them and eat them.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think I'm quite that far yet. I got a freezer full of hog and deer, and I think I'll pass on the mole crickets for a little while. But yeah, the dogs apparently love them. And a buddy of mine at work, one of the guys that works with us, he was telling me that his dog, he said he's out there in the morning. He said I can't get him in the house. He's out there sniffing around, digging up something. He said I can't ever figure out what it is. And I showed him what it was. He's like, that's disgusting. I said,
I agree with you, man.
I know. I was like, well, they must be good because mine love them, and apparently his dog does too. So
it looks like a mix between a bee and some kind of crawdad.
Yeah.
And a cricket. It's the weirdest looking thing I've ever seen. No, I've not seen those around here. If I did, I'd shoot them.
Yeah. They're about 1.5 inches long, something like that.
One of this guy's hand here is about 3 inches long. Eh?
Is he?
I guess your dogs eat him before he get that big.
He got a Boone and Crockett one in.
Golly, that thing is disgusting looking. That's enough about them things. I'll have nightmares about that stuff. Yeah, quit talking about that kind of garbage.
Yeah, they actually got videos on YouTube that show you how to cook them. I'm like,
you cook anything, don't mean you should eat it.
Steve told me it'd be a red fox sweater for my wife.
Yeah, there's a lot. I've never bothered the red foxes around here because they eat mostly mice around and Trevor's chickens, but Trevor don't have chickens no more. So.
Well, he would be fine and dandy if he would stay in the back field, back in that area, because when I clean deer and stuff like that, I take what's left over and I dump it back in the edge of the woods and
Gut
feed the
pile.
foxes and
Coyotes.
whatever. Yeah. Well, yeah, you feed the coyotes too. It gives you something to shoot at later on.
Yeah. Put a good
But
backstop behind the gut pile, and you're set up.
He needs to stay back there. Being in the front yard, I got Eli's a little miniature poodle or a little toy poodle. He's a little fella. That fox is a lot bigger than he is. I'm afraid if I let him out one more and I'm not paying attention and see it, they'll run out there. But Ella would take care of him pretty quick. But
I don't think a fox would try to take a poodle-sized dog. I
don't know.
Maybe
he's easy. Big. He's easy twice as big as Eli is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but dogs fight back more than other animals like rabbits and crickets and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like foxes are more like cats. They're sort of like a pouncer, like sneak up on stuff and pounce on it and stuff.
Right.
I don't think they're willing to take a chance getting bit or hurt. I might be wrong. I've never seen a fox attack a dog. I mean, a rabbit one I've seen before, but I've not seen just a normal fox do it. Now, coyotes would, because they'd have 2 or 3 with them.
Right. So I go out. I'll make sure I got a gun with me. When I let them out at night. I got the Glock in my back pocket or something just to make sure.
Yeah, you never know when rattlesnakes gonna be laying out there.
Ooh. Let's go back to Mole Creek or something. I need to bring up snakes.
Yeah, somebody killed a rattlesnake around here recently over in Green County. Somebody posted a picture of it. I'm like, I didn't know there was rattlesnakes in Green County. I guess it would make sense there in Hart County. It would be in Green County.
But I'm sure they would be.
I've not seen any in LaRue County, though. I've never seen a rattlesnake in LaRue County. I've heard that there's some up on the north side, up close to Hardin County, where that old lumber yard used to be at.
Mm-hmm.
Because they bring in them lumber trucks, they'd let them set out overnight, and then they'd bring them in, and they'd drop off in the yard there. And there was a bunch in that area on the north side of LaRue County. But I've not ever seen any in LaRue County. Even on the south side, we're pretty close to the south end. Oh, well. Where are we at? I've done lost my place. All right.
Hey, so talking about October and hunting season, I just want to use it one moment to throw a couple safety things out there. Georgia, we're lucky. Deer season comes in a lot earlier down here than it does in Kentucky, for example, Tennessee and northern states. So we are already into it, but just make sure when you go this year, make sure if you're climbing off the ground, make sure you're wearing a harness of some type. I never, ever used to wear a harness because I was indestructible and I didn't care and I wasn't going to get hurt. But I'm older now and I'm smarter and I know better. And I know, and I've seen a lot of my friends get screwed up bad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because they fell off tree stands or whatever. I don't know if did Ron Bellett ever send you that picture of his buddy putting up the deer stand? They were putting a ladder up, and Ron sent that picture to me. I was like, "Ugh, man, that's nasty." But the tree stand started to fall, and the guy lost his balance and was just going to jump and get off the stand. Well, when he did, his ring on his finger caught on the bolt, and I have a picture of it. Yeah, that I still got that picture that Ron sent me, but it took his finger completely off.
Took it off, yeah.
It took the skin off. Yeah. It left the bone and everything there, but it showed he's got his hand laying on a piece of gauze, and there's just a skeleton finger there, and it's like somebody rolled a sock off his finger, and he's got his finger laying there. They were able to reattach it and put it back on for him.
Yeah.
But I was like, ugh.
I had a guy I used to work with that his ring finger was gone. He was somewhere in a factory, and he was climbing down off a shelf or something. He was coming down, and he let go, and that ring caught, and it shucked all the meat off of his finger. It was just the bone, exposed bone there, and all the meat was still hanging up on the thing. Yeah. And he went to the hospital, and they said, "What do you want to do? You want to reattach?" He says, "Well, where's the rest of your finger?" And he said, "I guess it's still up there in that building." He said, "Just cut it off." He said, "Well, we can go try to find it and try to reattach it." And He said, I just cut it off. He said, and that's the worst decision I ever made because he said it hurt all the time. Even though it was not there, he still felt pain in that finger that was missing. They call it phantom pain or something.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I've got those rubber wedding bands whenever I'm working on the farm or working in the garage or shop or anything. Only time I wear my wedding bands when I go to church or go out somewhere. But when I'm working on something, I always put on one of those black rubber wedding bands, or you call it.
Well, I will be hunting out of my climber tomorrow all day,
They
and
ring at home.
I go high. I get up 20 or 25 feet in the air, and I make sure I got that harness as I'm going up the tree, man. I wear that thing religiously now.
That's good.
Friend of mine fell a couple years ago and broke both of his ankles and his heel when he hit the ground. He's lucky he didn't mess himself up worse, but he was out of commission for several months ago because he couldn't walk.
Yeah, I can imagine. So Steve was saying that he can't take one in city property, uh, and he said he can't take it with an air rifle. But there's pre-charged pneumatic rifles. We had a guy on. It's probably predated you. Used to go to church with us. He was a music minister, and he was big into those pre-charged rifles. Use like 2,000 psi canisters on them,
Mm-hmm.
and they'd shoot like 20, 30 bullets, depending on the caliber of them. But took elephant and moose and all kinds of things down with them. Uh, but yeah, but they sound sort of like a rifle. Those pre-charged ones, they're pretty loud. All the air release. And it goes supersonic. The bullets on those things go supersonic too.
Right.
So you got the crack of the thing going through the air. But yeah, you can take a deer with these modern air rifles, not the pump up types, not a Crossman 177, but
Right.
they got some real ones. Of course, you can get suppressed and shoot some sonic, 300 blackout or something. Of course, I don't know what kind of backstops you got there in the city there, Steve. May get you in trouble. I'm
Hey,
not, any information I'm giving cannot be held accountable because I don't know what I'm talking about.
crossbow or compound bow. That's
Yeah.
like you can hunt the city limits of Atlanta, Cobb County, Fulton County, and Gwinnett County. They have
Mhm.
extended season, for backyard hunters. You can shoot archery, and you get actually a longer season to do it. So
Yeah.
that'd be something to look into.
Yep. Yeah. Up there, the subdivision my mom's got her house in is full of deer. I mean, every time I go, I have to wait for the deer to get out of the drive to pull in. There's just tons of them. They're all small because there's not enough, food for them to eat enough to get big. So they're all a bunch of little 80-pound does and 110-pound does and stuff like that. And you might see one buck that's got a couple horns on him. That's about it. Everything, there's so many deer in there. It's crazy. And they just built another subdivision that took up another 30 acres of woods just across the road from theirs. And so all those deer have moved into their woods. So somebody needs to go in with a bow and just clean up and thin them out a little bit. But,
Tell me what day you want to do it.
yeah. I don't know if there's restrictions. I think she said something about somebody wanted to come over there and bow hunt, but not certain. I got alarms going off like crazy here. Turn all that stuff off. All right, so we need to get on with the thing here. We need Primary Arms. I want to thank Primary Arms again for sponsoring the show and helping us out and doing good things for us and sending us money and all that good stuff. You can buy stickers and patches look like that. I got a bunch of stickers to take to BAM with me tomorrow. And Billy's been bugging me about a sticker. I got your sticker, Billy. I'll bring it Tuesday. And then we've got Subscribestar. If you guys like to donate, like it's sort of like Patreon, but they're not. They don't hate God and they don't hate guns, so they let us have an account. So you go.
Don't hate us.
They don't hate us. Subscribestar, all one word, .com/God and guns, and you can. There's different levels of patronage that you can do there. We'd appreciate that. And you got the last two.
So the first was PowerTac lights, which I think I sold 2 more headlamps this week for PowerTac, and I gave them the link, told them use it, and they use our promo code, which is God and Gun. You get 40% off. So Dylan was helping me drag that hog out the other day, and I told him I had a stream light in my truck, and I had my PowerTac light on, and the stream light is the backup. And I asked him, did he want it? And that stream light is bright. I ain't gonna lie to you, it's bright too. But Dylan's looking for that hog, and we're moving around looking, and I turned my head to the direction he was looking, and that stream light was completely gone. You couldn't even see it for the light I had on. He's like, what kind of light is that? So I told him. So then his brother-in-law was over here last night dropping that deer off, and I had it on, messing around getting the deer out of the truck and stuff, and showed him. He's like, wait, where can I get one of those at? And I said, well, just a matter of fact, I can help you out. It's powertac.com, and go check it out. It's the HL10 headlamp, and it is bright, 2,500 lumens. So if you're looking for a good light, go check our buddies out at powertac.com. Also, Crossbreed Holsters. Hey, if you're carrying a gun, you've heard Troy and I say we carry in a Super Tuck Deluxe. We both love them. But pretty much doesn't matter what kind of gun you have and whichever way you want to carry a gun. If you got one next to your bed, your wife has one in her pocketbook, or you got one in your vehicle, Crossbreed makes a holster for you. So go check our friends out at crossbreedholsters.com. Use promo code G&G over there. Get 10% off for just listening to the show.
Carry the cross.
Carry the cross.
So they sent me a care package. I don't know. Did I talk about that on the last show or not?
You did.
Okay. So they sent.
But you tell me again. That was awesome.
Yeah, they sent a card signed by, I don't know, 50 people or something, probably everybody there. And then they sent all kinds of cool gifts, and we were really appreciative of that. I spread them around the family. I think everybody got something. But that was very nice of them. They're just good people, good Christian people. And they are they're family for me and Doug.
Yeah, they are.
All right. Armed Citizen of the Week, Doug. What do we got?
Hey, Armed Citizen of the Week this week comes to us from Houston, Texas. A resident of a Houston, Texas apartment was forced to act in self-defense when a man broke into her residence on September 2nd, 2021. The incident occurred around 12:55 a.m. that Thursday morning when a man walked up to the front door of the apartment and tried to force his way in. At first, the intruder tried prying the door open, trying to pry the door open, but then resorted to kicking it in. As the intruder made his way into the apartment, the 22-year-old resident was already armed and on the phone with police. When the intruder came into view, she opened fire and struck the uninvited guest several times. After shooting the intruder, the resident then rushed over to him and attempted to provide aid. As it turned out, the home invader was the resident's 35-year-old ex-boyfriend. He was then taken to a local medical center where he was later pronounced dead. The resident was not harmed during the incident. That comes to us from HoustonTX.gov in Houston, Texas.
I have a scanner I keep with me almost all the time in the truck, and sometimes I'll sit on the back porch with it and stuff. But in Kentucky, you can have a scanner if you're a ham radio operator. I don't know about your state, so don't take any advice from me about whether or not you can have a scanner in your vehicle. In Kentucky, it's allowed, so that's all I can think. As of right now, today, October the 22nd of 2021. So, but it's amazing how many women have EPOs on their boyfriends and ex-husbands and stuff, and they still go back and drag them out of the house and beat them up, or go in their house and beat their kids up, that you hear on these scanners. And the sad thing is that if they're not armed or don't have any way to protect themselves, you hear these dispatchers and stuff talking, and they're like, oh, Johnny's back over there again. You get over there, and he's, because they got calls so many times on these domestic abuse situations. If John's on, he probably knows, I'm talking about, or he can probably attest to it, but you just hear it over and over again. of these people being these women being beat up and kids, and but now the kids are beating up the parents now. It's I
Mm-hmm.
hear a lot on the thing now. A lot of kids are attacking their parents, and they instead of the parents taking care of it, they call the police. So like, if that happened in my house, I'll be taking care of that myself. But I'm not a single parent, so I can't speak to what they're having to deal with, and it's just a sad world that we live in. But it's sad that someone had to die to stop. I mean, it's just a crazy the amount of violence that's just out there in our society.
Oh, it is.
It is crazy. You just never know when someone like that's going to walk across your path, and you're going to come in contact with them, and they're going to think that you might be someone they could boss around. Oh, I'm reading the comments over here too. But well, that's about it. We're gonna wrap it up. We're coming up on an hour, and people will be going to bed. Doug might be going to hog hunting. I don't know.
No, I'm going deer hunting in the morning.
Going deer hunting tomorrow, so you go to bed early. All right, we're gonna wrap it up. Send your feedback to Troy@GuyandGunsPodcast.com, or
Doug at GuyandGunsPodcast.com.
please tell your friends about us. Leave us an iTunes review. We haven't had an iTunes review in a long time. Billy, you could give us. I don't know if you got iTunes. One of you guys can give us an iTunes review or update your old one. Hopefully, it's a better thing. And if you're from Canada and you don't like people in buckets of skid steer, we don't want to hear about it.
Kennedy.
That's an old comment throwback. You had to be around a long time to know that one. All right. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Guide and Guns Podcast. I'm not a parent, so I'll hush. All right. So you can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Instagram. We're on Webkin. We're sort of on Rumble. We have a few videos over there. We're on MeWe. That seems to be the most active site after Facebook and Instagram. Website's GuyandGunsPodcast.com. So until next time, Doug, have a blessed week.
And keep your guns close, but keep your Bibles closer.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Good night.